In the part one, we covered the what about agent building, the prompt, rubric, the tools. In this one, we'll cover what it takes to take the agent production ready, like how exactly it says things, how it produces, how it uses tools, its own strategy, and those things we'll dive deeper. So starting with the first one, that how exactly the agent sounds. Now this is one of the most critical aspect because the voice agent space that we are in the multimodal space, how you say it matters sometimes more than what exactly you say it. Like otherwise people will just cut the call, or the sales will not happen, or the interview will not happen. So all of these to a large extent is controlled by your model choice. So let me just first go to the model. So there are some this model Ocean and Galaxy which are audio to audio models. What I mean by here is that most of the voice models, what they do is they take your speech, they convert it into transcript, they put it to LLM, and then use speech to text. What happens is in this case the emotions and a lot of rich data about the voice is lost and it's just a plain text. So whether I'm shouting or saying it in a really nice language, all of that is almost same to LLM. But if you use these Galaxy and Ocean medium stable models, then in that case, the rich information goes through. So it's super helpful when you have to use emotions, when communicating in the case of education, or in the case of sales, where again, emotions and these things are important. One of the downside here is that it's not so much great at times in function calling. Also, at times it struggles with different voices if you want to clone your voice and other. But we have a nice hack to get it for you. So if you need clone voice with audio to audio model, reach out to us. But you can also do that on your own. If you go to landmass model, go to landmass cascade, you can pick any of the Gemini model and others. So here you get the model off the shelf. So you will know all of these models. They are pretty popular. So one of the go-to models is Gemini stable, which is on Vertex. And then you take a STT model, we generally prefer Deepgram, and the TTS we prefer Cartesia, but you can pick any. And you can pick your selection of voices. This is a good list of voices from Cartesia, but one of my favorite is clone your voice. You just speak for 10 seconds with the speech that we give you, and this will clone your voice. You just have to pick the language, and that has worked really well for our customer in the sales and other use cases. They can just clone the best rep. We have also worked with founders who are doing sales. So in those cases, they want their voice in the product demos and other. So all of this is possible here with the model choice. Now, this is the part about how do you say it, but also the look or the avatar is as important. So we offer a bunch of options when it comes to avatar. One is the general avatar, like you can just upload and it works like a static avatar. Then we have this hybrid avatar, which has two states, a thinking state and a speaking state. So this is a good enough avatar and we offer it for free, so it gets used a lot. And a younger audience pretty love this hybrid avatar from what we have seen. You can have rich anime character and other, and of course it does not cost you, so it's pretty great that way. But we also offer some premium avatar from Avtario, Anam and Hagen, the usual suspect here. I pretty like, my personal favorite here is Anam, which is very low latency and works really well. So any professional scenario where you are giving a presentation or a sales call in a B2B case, likely you should go with the professional avatar. This covers sort of appearance and how it says and this part. The second and the most crucial part is the conversation strategy. I'll cover a couple of options in the conversation strategy. So one of the things is enable talkative mode. What this does is that in many of the voice model, if you don't speak, the model stops speaking as well. But if let's say it's a one-way education or it's a tutor kind of a model where you want the agent to do bunch of talking, so then you can do in talkative mode, and whatever interval you set, if there is a silence at that time, you ping the agent to speak more. So it's pretty helpful in the case of one-way presentation, tutor mode, and other cases where you want to have a talkative mode. Even in the case of sales call, like cold calls, generally having a 10-second interval is good, that if someone has just paused or is not paying attention, the agent should again speak up. Many of the sales role play setting, we have found that you go and approach the customer, right? And then they say hello or yes or something. So in that case, if you say user speak first, then the agent is forced to stay silent and you have to speak. Now this one, the next one, the filler word is pretty important in the case of cold call setting or phone calls and other, where because of the PSTN network and all, it can take a lot of time for the LLM to come through and then speak. But filler's word is what is a fast response. So when someone says that, how are you doing? If someone asks you a question, you first say, yes, let me come back, something like that, right? So those are the filler words. So you can have, okay, right, all right, yeah, let me get back to you, things like that as a default, which are used as a filler word. For Hindi audience and other, you also have very different kind of filler words. So you can have language specific filler words here, and these are really fast and they give a what we call speech inefficiency look. That as a human, we are not perfect in giving our speech, we make it inefficient, and this filler words serve this purpose of making it inefficient, as well as it helps reduce the perceived latency overall. Now there is a few more tricks here. One is conductor mode. So what conductor does, it's on a different channel, sends a message to your agent. So let's say in an interview and at 300 seconds you want it to move to a next meeting, to the next question, or you wanted the 10 minute for things to end or change dramatically. So you can use the conductor mode to do these sort of bidding for you. You can also use conductor mode to end the session, give the instruction for the agent to end the session. But the better path is the max session. So whatever you define here in the seconds, at that time we have a custom written instruction for agent to end the call. Now there are two more additional settings here. One is the baseline behavior. So in this case, we have very minimal guardrails put in place. And in the case of standard, we have more guardrails of it will not, for example, sing a song and do things like that. There is also a background noise, which is useful for two use cases that we have seen. One is if you are building your avatar for meditation and all. In that case, you want a certain background noise, maybe in stream and other, so you can upload the voice and it will keep playing in the background. And the second case is, let's say it's a phone call and you want to create an office noise experience. Then again, you can upload office noise and it will make that noise throughout the call. The third aspect that I wanted to cover was knowledge and the custom tool, and there is also memory aspect here. So one pattern in context engineering is the hybrid pattern, where the most important part of the instruction, which is required in every turn, every time I say something, has to go in the system prompt, and things which are required only in specific cases, you should put it into the knowledge base or memory so that the agent can refer to that in runtime. So let's say if someone asks about diabetes, then the agent might not have knowledge, but if I attach it, it will at the runtime query because it knows it has a database about these information and use that to answer your question. So make sure that you use this hybrid pattern so that you don't overwhelm the system prompt. Now the last thing I wanted to cover here was the session analysis here, which is after the session has happened, we provide you a bunch of ways to get data. So if you switch on the analysis here, you can do multimodal analysis, which is video and audio is also analyzed. This comes at slightly extra cost. And then you could also define the target, like who do you want to evaluate. In the phone call and other setting, you might also want variable extraction. That is, who was the caller, what name they mentioned, or which place, and things like that. So we just give you in the JSON format the variable and the data. So it's really good in putting in your CRM or for record keeping. We could also automate for you that every time a session happens, we'll send you an email, we can send you analysis. All of this is configured from here. You can also specify that who should be informed, admins and all, and they will get the email. So all in all, what I have covered in this particular section is that how do you exactly take your agent to make it production ready, its conversation strategy, how it sounds, how it looks. So do this tuning and you will be ready to deploy your agent. Thank you so much.